At what point was the decision made in regard to what type of machine and what type of brand? And was that driven by you? Was it driven by him? Was it driven by some other entity?
Yeah, and I think to hear brand mentioned for that little sliver there, I mean, I didn't know what the brand was even until this weekend basically.
Yeah, you and I were talking.
I'm like, I don't know. Let me check out the paperwork. Because so that was never really in my awareness at all. But from the point of him getting us getting these results, having this consultation, and him recognizing that was the direction we were going, was to a CPAP machine. He basically, and I'm a part of an HMO, and I've had the same primary care physician, 15, 20 plus years, long time. But so he knows me. But for him, it's the time when the HMO process where he's handing me off to the next level, like you would send to a specialist or whatever. So he's clearing me from his point of view to move on to the next phase, and he knows I'm going to be dealing with other people. And at that consultation and at the beginning of dealing with, which I believe it's Apria Healthcare in our area, but just the vendor of the product, I never really was provided with any option, choice, naming of a type, or even really, there was a conversation the night of the sleep study where they're showing me the machine, which was this exact machine.
Right.
So that's what they're using for the test, and they showed me the humidifier attachment piece because they did ask me. I think that might be an option in the sleep study or something, but they showed me that it could function with or without this humidifier piece, and would let me decide if I wanted it or not. So by the time I got to being referred to where I'm going to get my own machine, never was a brand, whatever it was I offered choice, never was, and in my impression I didn't even have a sensation there was a lot there. It's definitely, it's bulky, it's uncomfortable, it's not a great thing for spooning with your wife, and so I mean it's got its issues, but I use it all the time. I would say I'm easily 99%, 98%. I mean, every once in a while if I'm having a weird night, I kind of get too comfortable already and wiped out, maybe, and I just come in and crash, and it means I got to roll over and hook it all up and turn it on. Sometimes I'm already kind of past the sleep point. And maybe I'll wake up and put it on in the middle of the night if I get to do something else. But most of the time I wear it every night religiously, and the benefits and the restfulness I get from it is worth it. So I get it home, got it on the nightstand. So there you go from the beginning. It's like, where do you put the thing? Because the hose must be, because it's this long, and it must be in a situation where you can sleep, you can roll over around and not have it choking you, and it takes some getting used to, because it's, when it's on you, just to demonstrate real quick, jokingly, it's your fighter pilot mask, and it's right here. And so amazingly, you become comfortable with it, and it doesn't get in your way to sleep. Like, I would have never thought I could sleep with this on my face, but you do get to where you can, even on your front side. So I tend to sleep on my side, but I can do frontal, I can do back. Back tends to be the most comfortable way to sleep now, and I've probably been forced to do that a little bit by this, but it's about positioning it. So you got to get it where you can get this thing on the nightstand or off to the side of the bed somewhere, but it can't really be down too far because now you're losing hose length. So you're sucking up, you're wasting space, and you need something up there. So you got to get it up high next to the bed. So it's going to take your nightstand space, and it's big. If you got a clock radio or whatever, this takes over. So, and it's not pretty, and so, but I've never yet recommended someone to go try to find something more pretty. It's just, this is kind of what I've accepted as part of it. But, so you got to do that. You got to get the system down of how you loop it over the headboard or to go underneath the pillow, because you can't have it all pinned down because then you're stuck. So it's got to have some play. And so, you get to where you can tuck it back behind the headboard. That gives you some mobility here, it'll slide here, that kind of thing. If you don't have a headboard, now you're tucking it in behind the mattress.
So you mean it's coming up over the top?
Yes, so it's coming off the side of the nightstand, if it's on my side of the bed here, then I've got this thing on, and this is coming up and over my headboard above me, so it's kind of coming over me here. It's not coming at me here, it's up over here, so you got to kind of arrange all that. And my bed has a wooden headboard, and I just pulled it out of the way from the wall a little bit, and this thing tucks right down in here, and I'm sleeping here. And it works just fine. But hotel rooms, you go sleep at someone's house. If you bring it, maybe this is the time you don't bring it. Sometimes is when you're going to sleep over somewhere. But if you're packaging this up and taking it with you, you got to get all that set up, and you don't usually want to do that right when you're trying to fall into bed. So when I go somewhere, I got to get. So there's some mechanical stuff involved.
And so there's some planning involved when you're not at home.
When you're not at home, for sure.